Alrighty, so our German Shepherd is a good family dog. So as you can see right here, this is Mara Shepherd. I call her Mara Shepherd because she's like a solid black German Shepherd, obviously. But one of the questions I usually get asked from people walking around on the trail like this, she's quite the conversation dog. Meaning, every time I'm on a trail, like everyone stops to say like, "Oh, how beautiful she is," and how is her temperament, and we're thinking about getting one for our family. Like, are they good family dogs? So, in my opinion, I think German Shepherd is number one. I'll just tell you my experience, okay? So having Mara as a German Shepherd, she's about like 4 years old now. I'd say she's literally probably the best dog I've ever had in my life. There's different reasons for that. Number one, she's extremely loyal. I know German Shepherds probably have a reputation for being like extremely intelligent, but they're not only super smart and intelligent, but they're also very, very loyal. And so, as far as like having like a companion for you and your family, I'd say like absolutely they're amazing, amazing dogs as far as overall like intelligence and loyalty and things like that. But obviously, kind of the elephant in the room is, are they aggressive, and do you have to like really train them? So I'm just gonna give you my experience. So when Mara was like probably 8 weeks, or sorry, not 8 weeks old, but like half a year old, so like 6 months or so, I actually took her to a trainer down here in San Antonio area, and got her trained for over a month. And I also travel for work as well. And so every time I have to leave her with the trainer for like a few days at a time, I always make sure that they go in and like actually train her, like do the reinforcement training, things like that. So kind of long-winded way of saying like whether or not a German Shepherd is a good family dog. But yes, I personally think that for me and my family, she's been nothing but an absolute joy. She gets me outdoors, obviously, like you can see in this video. Very athletic and things like that. So if you're ever in the market for getting a German Shepherd, if I had to do it all over again, I'd buy probably Mara plus two or three of her other siblings because she's just that amazing of a dog. As a breed for German Shepherds. And then, okay, so yet another question I also get asked as well. That kind of leads me into my next point. So, are they easy to train? So, are German Shepherds easy to train? So, again, Mara is like about 4.5 years old at this point. Since I got her trained at about 6 months old, she's been, in my opinion, in my experience, and as you can see right here, she's very well trained as far as being on and off leash trained. But as far as doing it yourself and like how easy all that is, I'd personally recommend just going to a local trainer where it's literally their profession and career and reputation on the line to say, hey, like, can you train my dog, right? Can you train him like basic manners, like behavioral manners? Can you do like on leash and off leash training and things like that? So, being that she's a German Shepherd and I wanted her to have excellent manners and not, jump and like try and charge people and, things like that. You got to be aware of like what breed you have. And in my opinion, like in the case of a German Shepherd, obviously, like they have a reputation of being super protective, loyal, and smart. But again, like you just always want to be protecting yourself and her from doing the wrong thing. And so, as far as like making sure they're good family dogs and all that stuff, I would absolutely always get your dog trained. Absolutely, if you can afford it. I know it's not really the cheapest thing, but as far as like having a German Shepherd, you kind of have to know like what you're getting into. And over the last 4 to 5 years, 4.5 years or so with Mara, I can say that as far as them being easy to train, that's really up to the trainer, in my opinion, to decide that. But what they do is they set a foundation, right? So you take your dog to the trainer, and they give you your dog like a really good foundation, particularly if they're like more of a younger dog and stuff like that. So what they can do is set the foundation, like, hey, like I want to be able to have my dog be able to be walked without a leash or with the leash, and they can kind of instill that within the dog. And then later on, like if you're if you keep up with it, it's a lot easier to do that rather than having to do all that and to set the foundation yourself, if that kind of makes sense. So that's why I'm always taking Mara out taking her on trails, and things like that. And make sure that training is being reinforced constantly. So.